being an entrepreneur sounds cool, but the reality of building a business is very, very difficult. Every level that you hit, there's a lot of things that suck that you just won't want to do. What you're capable of is on the other side. I don't feel like it.
And if you're committed to what it is that you're trying to do, nothing is going to stop you from getting there.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Business Owners with myself, Trevor Cowley. And here we are, 2025, another year behind us. Hopefully you have evidence that you are making good decisions in 2024. So today, guys, you get me. It's me and you. You know I love you guys, and I try to be well thought out with a solo episode to make sure that it's worth your time. I do value your time, and I want to see you guys win at an extremely high level. And if you guys are ready to make a change and join Real Business Owners, go to joinrbo.com. That is a move that I know for a fact that you wouldn't regret. So I'd love to get to know you a little bit better and see you inside of some of our Zoom calls, some of our meetups. That's really what it's about, is finding other people on the same path as you and learning from each other and growing. So let's jump into today's episode. A lot of people are motivated right now. There's this energy about going into a new year and this motivation that we all have. So right now you're in a group of a large amount of people where everybody's extremely motivated. Everybody's extremely committed. Everybody's going to get healthier. Everybody's going to get wealthier. You know, that's just kind of the frequency and the vibration. And I think that you're feeling that right now, which is an amazing feeling. But that's not what success feels like. It's like Cinderella. When the clock strikes midnight, everything goes back to what it was, right? So there's this fairy tale period of time every single year where it just feels good to commit to something more than what we've ever committed to before. But I want to remind you that if you want to be in the top 1%, that means you have to make it through things that 99% of other people can't make it through. So if you're committed, you have to understand what that looks like. If you want to be successful, you have to understand what that's going to feel like and what you're really going to have to go through. When you watch somebody else that's successful and you see them and you idolize them, you get a feeling and an emotion and a motivation and inspiration. But that's not what it feels like when you're going through the process to receive what they've received. And I want you to go into this year with proper expectations. I made an Instagram post last week, or an Instagram story, I should say, and I said, this is what success truly looks like. And what it was me in my closet getting ready when it was just dark and cold and, preparing to go on my 10-mile run. I said, the process of feeling like you're winning won't feel anything like winning. This is another cold, dark morning. The process, you're going to be tired. You're going to have to do it alone. You're going to have to deal with early mornings. You're going to have to deal with questioning yourself. Not only questioning yourself, but you're also going to have to deal with the doubters that you have that are also questioning you. And that's really where it starts getting difficult, is when you hit a low point on the path of trying to build a life for yourself, do something that you could absolutely be proud of, is when you hit that low and you're questioning yourself and you have doubters, when everything feels like it's against you and even you feel like sometimes you're against you, show up anyways. Just continue down that path. You started down that path for a reason. And I'm telling you, just because the emotion doesn't match what you hoped going into it, doesn't mean that that path won't bear fruit. Improper expectations of what the process of becoming successful looks like and feels like is what causes most people to quit. So I want you to know right now that you're riding a high. And that's okay. Let's ride the highs when we have the highs. But I want you to also understand the way that you're moving right now, the way that you're showing up right now, you're going to have to do that without the motivation, without the highs. So I'm going to go over 7 things that you're going to have to overcome or change for you to be able to reach your 2025 goals and to make this year a successful year. 1 is you're going to have more courage than you've ever had before. You're going to have to overcome some of the fears that have held you back from becoming everything that you have the ability to become. Maybe it's the fear of public speaking. Maybe it's the fear of speaking on camera or making a social media post. Maybe you have fears right now because financially your bank account's hitting a low and things aren't looking good. You're going to have to show up with more courage than you've ever had to show up in order to see success. That's just the way that it works. We have to exercise courage. And the only way to exercise courage is by facing things that you're fearful of and overcoming those things. That's just fuel for growth. That's just how it works. Number 2 is negative thinking. Obviously, the human body and the human brain was designed to survive. And part of surviving is to be a negative thinker. What in this situation that I'm in right now could possibly kill me or hurt me? How can I survive in this situation? And so you're looking around and you're constantly assessing the negative things that have the ability to happen. I mean, let's be real. The brain automatically defaults to the worst possible outcome when some bad things start happening, right? If somebody doesn't text you back or call you back, did I say the wrong thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Is this deal going to happen? Is my business even going to work out? If I try public speaking, are they going to laugh at me? Or am I going to? You're literally thinking about all the worst possible situations that you can think of. And that's just the way that we're designed. So you're going to have to flip that. You're going to have to start thinking a little bit more positively. And if you want to see life on the right side of the coin, that's going to take some work. You have to have a routine, a little bit of structure around your day where when you wake up, a lot of people practice gratitude that have shifted their mind more from survival mode to thrive mode. They're thinking about all the wonderful things that are happening in their life. And even when something appears to be negative, you're going to say, hey, I already know that pain doesn't come or discomfort doesn't come without leaving a gift. I know that there's a blessing in this somewhere, and I'm going to overcome it, and it's going to end up being a positive thing because I'm going to make it a positive thing. So your ability to think positively in the majority of situations will help you on the path to success. Number 3 is decisiveness. You know, this last year, you were probably a little bit more indecisive than you should have been. Maybe you should have been a little bit more bold with your decisions. Maybe you shouldn't say, I need to think about it. We already all know what we should be doing. We just want to say, hey, let me think about it just to make yourself feel a little bit better. But in reality, what that is, it's a level of procrastination is really what you're doing. If you already know it's going to serve you or it's going to serve your business, let's be a little bit more decisive. Let's be a little bit more bold this year in our decision making. Number 4 is obviously self-discipline. Your lack of self-discipline is what's caused you to be overweight. Your lack of self-discipline is what's caused your financial troubles. Your lack of self-discipline is why you don't have self-respect. Your lack of self-discipline is why you're not a good leader in your organization. And this year, you're going to have to figure out the self-discipline part of things. Discipline yourself, discipline your mind so that you have the ability to become a better leader, so that you have the ability to have more self-respect, so that you can control your impulses more, you have better finances, and you can run your business far more efficiently with a high level of self-discipline. Number 5 is positive habits. We have to have positive habits, right? So if we have a teeter-totter, so to speak, do you have more positive habits than you do negative habits? Something's going to shift. Guess what? We all have vices, things that we utilize to make us feel comfortable in moments of stress. And usually those things that make us feel comfortable in moments of stress are some of the bad habits that we have, right? And I'm not saying for you to not have a vice or utilize things to bring you comfort in moments of stress. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, how many bad habits do you have versus how many good habits do you have? You have to have more good habits than you do bad habits. So assess what you do on a day-to-day basis, right? All you are is your habits. We're all addicted to these patterns and these habits that appear to have been serving us up to this point, utilizing these patterns and these habits. But you're not going to thrive continuing to have those same habits or those same patterns. And so let's shift and make sure that 60, 70, 80, 90% of our habits are positive. And again, we're all human beings. We all like a little comforts every now and then. Number 6 is a little bit more humility. We have to remove the ego and the arrogance. The fact is the ego that you have and the arrogance that you have is you believe that you have things figured out that you probably don't have figured out. It's not what you do know that's holding you back from success. It's what you think that you do know. And if you don't have any humility to learn more and to gain a greater perspective, you're stuck. You are your best case scenario right now. So we have to let go of some of the beliefs that we have. The only way that you're ever going to be open-minded enough to let go of some of the current beliefs that you have is to remove the ego, remove your arrogance, and have a little bit more humility, a little bit more open-mindedness about other ways of doing things. Number 7 is going to be embrace change. Your resistance to change is what's going to keep you in the same situation that you've always had. So if you can't embrace change, that's just the world that we live in now. It's moving so fast, it's evolving so fast. And if you don't evolve just as fast as the world, and if you don't embrace change and you're resistant to change, you're going to have a very, very difficult time in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years as a business owner. Now, that might be change in terms of how much you delegate with inside of your organization. That might be change in terms of software. That might be change in terms of some of the joint ventures that you entertain. That might be change in terms of posting more on social media. That might be change in terms of, joining a mastermind. That might be change in terms of entertaining a conversation with somebody that maybe you wouldn't normally entertain and seek growth within that conversation. And so your ability to adapt and innovate is what's going to set you apart. Those that have the ability to do that at an extremely high level are the ones that end up seeing extremely high level type results. And so let's stop being so resistant. You don't know everything. You know enough to be dangerous. You know enough to survive. You know enough to maybe have a little bit better of a result than the majority of people. But you don't know enough yet. So you have to have the ability to embrace change at the rapid speed that the world that we live in forces us to do. I hope this episode was valuable to you. I hope those 7 things that I believe people need to be working on this year will be some things that you work on this year and will help you receive the results that you hope for. So I'll go ahead and cover these right now again, very, very quickly. So we have to have more courage. We have to overcome some fears. Number 2 is we have to overcome negative thinking and start thinking a little bit more positively. Number 3, this year you have to be a little bit more decisive. Some of the things that you've been indecisive about has caused some of the pain that you experienced in 2024. Number 4 is you have to have more self-discipline. Your lack of self-discipline is what's caused you probably more pain or more harm than anything else. Number 5 is more positive habits than bad habits. Assess your habits. We all have habits. We're all creatures of habit, but make sure those habits are leading you in a direction that is going to be a destination that you want to land. Number 6 is have more humility. Your ego and your arrogance is going to cause you more pain, more heartache as time goes on. Have the humility to know that you don't know everything and be a little bit more open-minded. Number 7 is to embrace change. Resisting change just means you're going to be left in the dust. That's a quick recap of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please share the podcast on your social media. Rate and review the show. I want to make a bigger, bolder impact in 2025, and I'm going to do it regardless, but I'm asking for your help. I'm having the humility right now to say, okay, I'm going to have to change some things. If you've benefited in any way, shape, or form from Real Business Owners in the podcast or social media, share that with other people and tag me in it. I would love to also share that as well to make sure that you get some awareness around you, your business, or whatever it is that you do. If you're ready to make a big, bold change, go to joinrbo.com. Other than that, guys, keep kicking ass. We'll see you next week.